Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned. Albino ranks every boss in Batman Arkham Asylum from easiest to hardest, playing on the Return to Arkham PS4 version on hard mode. There aren't a lot of bosses in this game, and 5 of them are titans, so I've put some villain encounters in here as well, like the Scarecrow and Killer Croc stuff for some variety. I didn't do Harley though, because you don't fight her with gameplay, you just watch yourself kick her ass after you electrocute some gooners to death, starting from easiest and working our way to hardest. Number easiest, Scarecrow 1. The easiest boss in Batman Arkham Asylum is Scarecrow, who is less of a boss and more of a rotating searchlight. At any point, this dude could just look over a wall and kill you if he wanted to, but this is a video game, so he has a set pattern and allows himself to be exploited multiple times throughout the game in the exact same way without learning anything. None of the windows are tight in this, so you can relax and just jog your way to victory. Number 9, Scarecrow 2. For a guy who has no idea where you are, he sure seems to know where you are a lot. Reach certain points despite never being spotted, and you'll still trigger him zeroing in on your general vicinity like an apathetic homing missile. Scarecrow's like, shot in the dark, but I sure hope I spawn these skeletons directly in front of him every time. Wow, 100% success rate. Then you kill them all, and he responds to that fact immediately by deciding to look completely elsewhere for no reason. If I was Scarecrow and had been thwarted by a spotlight in my previous gassing of the Batman, I would simply never take my deadly eyes off this new spotlight, knowing it's my enemy's only recourse, instead of turning back and forth with my whole body like my neck is broken and providing ample opportunities for him to be out in the open utilizing my imaginary kryptonite. Number 8, Scarecrow 3. Who could ever be afraid of this dumb bitch? Twice now, this man has been undone by giant spotlights, and his solution is for there to now be 3 of them. Me when I just can't help but give my opponents exactly what they need to defeat me. After you get through the initial sneaking, you get double dosed and return to the realm of Scaowy to take part in 3 rounds of undead combat where everyone dies in one hit, even the Bone Titan in round 2, which is kind of funny. After each round, one of 3 spotlights turns on and wounds the Scarecrow, who proceeds to take no hints whatsoever and still just stand there hoping those other 2 spotlights never turn on because his IQ is a decimal. After all 3 spotlights are on, you overcome your delusion and Scarecrow's like, how? You've ingested enough toxin to drive 10 men insane! Maybe if it wasn't administered by an emaciated mongoloid. Also, Batman's fought Scarecrow how many times by this point canonically? There's only so many times a man can be paralyzed by the same trauma over and over. Eventually Batman's gotta be like, oh yep, there's my dead parents again. I'm overcome with grief. How will I ever soldier on? At least Scarecrow gets eaten by Killer Croc later, though I'm sure that barely even qualifies as a snack. Number 7, Double Titan. The first Double Titan fight, which unfortunately means there's a second, but at least this one's a breeze. Titans are very easy to deal with when there's no mobs constantly running at you and attacking you with punches that are somehow always faster than yours. Batman needs a buff to his frame data. These windups are too damn long. The main anti-Titan technology you'll be getting very acclimated to as you play this game is waiting for them to start charging, then quick throw a batarang to make them run into a wall and take damage and get disoriented, where you can then do 4 or 5 hits on them before they ground pound or otherwise swat you away. Them hitting each other also dazes them, which is great, and at the end of every health bar chunk you run up and mount them in a primeval display of sexual dominance, riding them hard while they swipe at whatever's in front of them. Your time up there is shortened by the amount of damage you deal to the other Titan. After you hit it a few times you'll automatically get thrown off, but you can swing around against hordes for way longer in those kinds of battles. End the bosses with a finishing move that would leave Isaac Newton scratching his head, and you win. Number 6, Killer Croc. Not really a boss, but it's a long, tense encounter all the same. Crouching and line launching across conveniently lined up wooden planks in an effort to gather enough plant spores, while an amphibian apex predator hunts you from the deep. Sprint for too long when you're not supposed to, and look forward to getting insta-killed, otherwise listen for the orchestral strings having a heart attack in the background to signal that the croc has breached the surface, and then manually throw a batarang at his collar to knock him back off. Quick throws don't work. They hit him in the shin or someplace embarrassing, and then you're getting bear hugged into the water. If you do get caught, I think you just respawn at the last spore you bagged, so it's forgiving. It's just a long process. Number 5, Bane. Bane is basically a Titan. The only differences are that you can't ride him to take out other dudes, and when he runs into a wall, he doesn't get stunned, so don't go up and try and punch him after. Bane is a side project you occasionally throw a batarang at when he charges, but the main focus is not getting overwhelmed by the mob. If you're feeling fancy, you can spray some explosive gel on the floor at some point before the first wave hits and use it for crowd control when the mood strikes. It won't finish anyone, but you might get a couple quick ground pounds before someone tries to stop you. Anytime you're attacking and there's a couple people in close proximity, it may be better to hit one and then wait for the other to wind up so you can counter instead of mashing, because goons love to randomly have superior frame data to you while you're mid-combo. Like, even if you start your attack before they do, they might just beat you to it. It's absolutely infuriating sometimes, and being on hard mode, having no counter indicators, only ratchets up the frustration. One thing I learned this playthrough that I never knew is that if you quick toss batarangs at Titans while they're busy ripping something off the wall or picking someone up, you actually do a little chip damage. It's not that helpful, but anything to end Titan bosses faster. Number 4, Titan Joker. You'd expect Joker to be the hardest Titan of all as the final boss in the game, but nah, he's the weakest and dumbest by far. Run away from his swipes till he leaves and sends in dudes, defeat all the dudes, backclaw him off the balcony where he falls and gets stuck, punch him 3 times, rinse and repeat. Bro functions like a Crash Bandicoot boss. There's such a disconnect from the rest of the game because everything you do to track Joker or win stealth sections throughout your time in the asylum, Joker learns from. You track Frank Bowles with his alcohol, Joker finds out and kills Bowles. You stealth take down individual enemies, Joker puts alert collars on them. You swing around gargoyles, Joker puts explosives in them. Everything you do, Joker responds by evolving and changing his tactics, except in this boss fight, where he makes the same incorrigibly stupid mistakes multiple times in a row and refuses to adapt. How about you just stop turning your back on Batman when he's down to his last thug, and you know what happens next? Joker's a mad genius who concocted this insanely brilliant master plan to take over the asylum, and he's undone by the dumbest repeated sequence of events. Like, if you're gonna be a camera whore to the point that you become situationally unaware, can you at least stop landing directly on your fingernails every time you get pulled off? Small adjustments, that's all it would take, my man. Number 3, Titan. Yeah, this normal-ass Titan is harder than Joker. Not by much, but Titan plus Horde at the same time is worse than Titan and Horde interchanged, even with the difference in weaponry. One tip I have for combats like this is that ground pounding is very often a liability that will just get you hit by taking too long, but a way to help mitigate that is to make sure no one's around when you do it, and that you run up to the guy and initiate the takedown from on top of him instead of just leaping toward him with the free flow system. The jumps take forever, and dudes will just run up and tap you out of it. Starting it from right on them cuts your vulnerability window in half. If the Titan charges through some dudes, rather than immediately chasing him to deal damage, you could try running towards anyone he knocked down and deciding if it's safe to get a quick ground pound in. Taking enemies out of play instantly is very important, since it takes 3 or 4 knockdowns to end them otherwise. You'll be out here with a times 25 combo wondering why there's the same amount of assholes as when you started it, so finish them where you can, because they don't spawn endlessly. Number 2, Poison Ivy. Damn, is it Arbor Day? Cause I've got wood. Let me eco-terrorize that pistol with my fertilization. It's a good thing Batman brought exactly 6,000 batarangs on this mission, cause you'll need all of them. Spam the hell out of them on Ivy whenever you're not doing anything else. Dodge the vine upheavals, and when she starts shooting, run around a circle, hit her while she's open. Hit her while she's closed too, but open does more damage. When her health bar depletes, you can run up and explode gel in her face. They absolutely did that shit on purpose. And then phase 2 starts, which is the same thing, but with some dudes entering the fray. This fight is death-inducing in theory, but if you get past the first health bar and then die, you start at the second phase, which takes the sting out of it, so you'll probably be fine. Number 1, Double Titan 2. The hardest boss in Batman Arkham Asylum is Double Titan 2. Did you want to fight 2 Titans again, but with double the crowd to control? Then you will still hate this boss and discover how wrong that desire truly was. This probably took a dozen attempts. I'm either literally getting stun-locked by the 2 Titans batting me into each other, or I'm trying to dodge their charges, but the game thinks I rolled diagonally over a nearby mob instead of horizontally out of the way like I wanted and get clipped anyway, or it's such a long process that you just get chipped away at until you die. A hit here, a hit there, both bosses on their last bar, but you're a hit away from death. Happens all the time. The only saving grace in this fight is that the game makes sure that all your quick throw batarangs will hit charging titans, even piercing through normal enemies if they have to. This could have been so much more annoying if every time you tried to stun a titan, a random asshat got in the way. They must have known that was going to be a huge problem. This fight still sucks humongous ding-dong, though. You're getting out-frame-dated by nameless henchmen, and sometimes you'll be forced to counter a thug right next to a titan, and you can guess what happens next. Horrible boss fight. Do not recommend. But that's going to do it for this boss ranking. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Watch all my other videos faster than I can, and I'll see you guys next time.